Top 10 Witch-Inspired Ghosts and Cryptids. Ursula Suntheil, also known as Mother Shipton, is a woman who lived in Knaresborough, North Yorkshire, England, in 1488. Ursula was born out of wedlock to a 15-year-old mother, Agatha Suntheil, and reared by her mother alone. Agatha was transported to a nunnery after 2 years in the cave, leaving Ursula to be reared by the local abbot of Beverley. Ursula, on the other hand, was born with all the characteristics of a classic witch: warts, nose, and all. As a result, she made few friends and spent much of her time in the woods and around the cave, studying flora and ancient cunning women's traditions. She would go on to have a great career as a folk healer prophetess and lived to be 73 years old. Mother Shipton's cave has a spooky reputation as well. A neighboring well known as the Petrifying Well has an uncanny habit of turning most anything left there into stone over the course of 3 months or so. Despite the fact that science has solved the enigma, attributing it to the cave's high mineral concentration, many people claim to have seen a dark, witch-like figure lurking around the cave's mouth, frequently disappearing as quickly as it appears. Barbara Stunk's intriguing moniker is the last witch to be burned at the stake in Europe, but it isn't her only claimed crime. At the turn of the 19th century, a serial larcenist attacked the Polish city of Ryssel, and the entire town was burned to the ground in 1806. Barbara Stunk, a maid at the time, was accused with the crime, although most people believe she was the victim of a smear campaign. Though she was also accused of performing magic, witchcraft was not a felony in Prussia at the time, but it was used as evidence. Stunk was executed outside of Ryssel on August 21st at Subayanika Hill. As a result, several people claim to have seen Barbara Stunk's spirit within the Ryssel castle. The suspected witch was first imprisoned and tormented in the dungeons of this castle over a 4-year period. During her incarceration, she was sexually assaulted and gave birth twice, though no one knows what happened to her children. Some say to see her wandering soul haunt the castle's dungeons, and they frequently report hearing blood-curdling cries when no one, living, is around. Ghost Hunters International even paid a visit to Ryssel Castle and experienced a few poltergeist encounters. Although the Sukkuyant walks a fine line between vampire and witch, she is frequently described as an elderly hag, which qualifies her for our list. The Sukkuyant is a mythology that is popular in the southern Caribbean, particularly Trinidad and Tobago, and is a word for a witch-like phenomenon rather than a single witch. Legend has it that she can peel off her skin at night and transform into a massive fireball that visits people's houses while they're sleeping, sucking their blood and leaving blue-black markings. The Sukkuyant, on the other hand, can be halted. When she returned, throwing salt or pepper on her abandoned skin would burn her to death. You may also put a bowl of rice on your front porch and make her count each grain before entering. Despite the fact that the Sukkuyant appears to be more of a mythology than a cryptid, she is said to have been seen recently. However, it is regarded extremely taboo to discuss them, making information limited. People have reported witnessing balls of fire flying around like paranormal orbs of light, with a face visible inside. Marie Laveau, though not a witch, is known as the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans because of her reputation as a wise priestess in the Voodoo religion and a pillar of the New Orleans Black Society. Voodoo is a set of beliefs that originated in West Africa and spread to the Caribbean and other parts of the world, including New Orleans. Marie Laveau, who was born around the turn of the century, came from a long line of notable Voodoo priestesses and studied the religion under the guidance of a Senegalese doctor named Dr. John Bayou. Marie Laveau lived a long and illustrious life, dying of old age on June 15, 1881. Laveau is buried at St. Louis Cemetery No. 1, where she continues to receive gifts and spiritual adornments. The cemetery, on the other hand, is not the haunted area where Marie Laveau's ghost is occasionally seen. Instead, her home on St. Anne Street holds that distinction, despite the fact that it was demolished and rebuilt in 1903. Many people claim to have seen the soul of the Voodoo Queen, dressed in a white gown and wearing her Tingon headdress, walking peacefully down St. Anne Street. She is also reported to haunt rooms in the rebuilt structure, which is presently used as a vacation rental. People have also reported hearing strange chanting and drumming emanating from an otherwise deserted street. Follow for Part 2.